And we have Kola Masha from Babban Gona next.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
Excellent. So, my friends, we have a problem in Africa, and that problem is rising insecurity. At the University of Sussex, it's a group of researchers that have been studying trends in global insecurity since 1997. Their data clearly shows that from 2007 to 2016, the number of conflict events in Africa went up 7-fold. Let's think about that. 7-fold in a 10-year period of time. Why is this? Well, we believe fundamentally as oxygen is to fire, so are unemployed youth to insecurity. And we have a tremendous number of unemployed youth in Africa. Young women like Sandra, who on a Saturday morning in March 2014 woke up excited at the prospects of getting a coveted job at the Nigerian Immigration Service. She kissed her daughter goodbye, left her home, never to return. She was trampled to death that day as thousands of people showed up for just a few open positions. Now, if we fast forward, in the next 20 years alone in Nigeria, 80 million youth will be entering the Nigerian workforce. 4 times the number that entered in the last 20 years. We have no time to try to fix this challenge. So to do my part, in 2012, I moved to a small village in northern Nigeria. My friend Jenny actually visited us back then. It was a really tiny little place. And with an idea that could we unlock the power of agriculture as a job creation engine to create jobs for millions of young people. We went village to village trying to convince farmers of this idea, and we failed woefully, barely able to recruit about 100 brave souls. But we persevered. We kept doing what we promised, and slowly we gained their trust. With a passionate and committed team, over a period of 4 years, we grew to become Nigeria's single largest maize producing entity, supporting 8,000 farmers to produce over 30,000 tons of grain by 2016, enabling them to attain net incomes that are 3 times the national average. How do we do this? Well, we recognize that at the end of the day, a smallholder farmer's biggest challenge is their low economies of scale. Those low economies of scale that trap them in this cycle of poverty where they struggle to access the credit, to buy the quality and quantity of inputs to be successful, the knowledge to use those inputs effectively, and despite their tremendous hard work, attaining yields often that are just 20% of other developing countries, at harvest, they're under incredible cash flow pressures, selling most of their products at that time at rock bottom prices. Now, we recognize that farmer cooperatives have played a critical role to enable smallholder farmers around the world solve this challenge. In my family, my grandfather was a smallholder farmer in South Dakota in 1913. From 1913 to 1930, he was able to make enough money to send his children to school. So we looked at how could we stimulate and leverage this power of farmer cooperatives to solve this problem. We created a model we called an agricultural franchise, where we franchise a network of grassroots level farmer cooperatives, small farmer cooperatives, and support them with a full suite of services from training on how to become great leaders of grassroots level farmer cooperatives, training on how to migrate from a subsistence to a commercial mindset, training on how to become better farmers. Second, and most importantly, we provided credit. We worked out a risk mitigation mechanism we call our 8 levels of risk mitigation that have enabled us to deploy tens of millions of dollars to tens of thousands of smallholder farmers and attain a repayment rate of over 99.9%. The third piece is now that credit comes 100% in kind in a holistic set of inputs, beginning with farm analysis, understanding exactly what that farmer needs and being able to tailor a credit package specifically to that farmer's needs. That credit package includes the highest quality seeds, great land preparation services, and other inputs. An individual that visits their farm every 2 to 4 weeks to give them the advice and guidance they need to be successful. All the way down to harvesting, where we provide them the thresher, the empty bag, the needle, and even thread to sew up their bags. And then finally, we offer them the opportunity to store and market their products to get better pricing. We have a network of transportation contractors that are similar to Uber that will pick up their products from their field, take them to one of our 33 collection centers where the product is weighed and graded. Within a week, we can collateralize that product, get them a loan against that product so that they have the cash in their pocket to meet their pressing needs without having to sell that product. We then, as their agent, market that product to them to leading buyers like Nestle to enable them to get prices that are 25 to 50% higher than they would be able to attain themselves. So, the reality, my friends, is that we've been fortunate to be able to today, this year, service close to 30,000 smallholder farmers to produce over 100,000 tons of grain. But in the next 20 years, in Africa alone, there are 400,000 youth coming out into the workforce. Half of them have the opportunity to make a living through agriculture. To support those youth, it would require $150 billion in working capital. Sounds like a big number. But if we can tap into the power of the capital markets and debt, it is a small number. Today, there's $400 billion given out in grant funding every year, but there's $150 trillion given out in debt every year. So all I need is 10 cents out of every $100 of debt. We can do it. Because we have to do it. We cannot live in a world where there are young men and women who are stuck in this cycle of poverty, being attracted into terrible insurgency groups like Boko Haram because they have no other options. I firmly believe we can change this future and we can give them a choice. Thank you.
Yes, we can.